Hello, welcome to Decorating Pages. I am your host, Kim Wannop. How's it going? I have an absolutely fantastic episode here with production designer Jean-François Campeau, and we talk about Apple Plus's Chief of War and how, everything about this project to me is amazing. The scale, he got to work in Hawaii, which is like a dream job. 15,000 square feet of thatching, handmade thatching. Things like that. That's what we're going to get into in a little bit. But let's talk about the Emmys. Let's talk about it. How exciting. CBS did wonders for some ratings. So that was good for the Emmys, I got to say. And if you don't know, I haven't said it enough, I am the governor for the set decorators, representing the set decorators in the production design peer group of the Emmys. So I did get to go, which is pretty awesome, I have to say. It's a good time. I was also the chair of the gala committee. So alongside of my other chair, David Hartle, who works at Netflix. Thank you very much. And the whole committee, we made some decisions. It's a pretty Sequoia does a phenomenal job with the gala, so there's not much to say, but we did have some input, and I was super happy with how it turned out. It's beautiful, beautiful. I have posted many pictures on the Decorating Pages social media and my own, Kim Wannop. So if you want to check that out, a little behind the scenes, check those out. They're also on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I thought the show went well. Sitting in that audience, it did not feel like 3 hours. And I was genuinely surprised, pleasantly surprised that the Pit won. I really like the Pit. I've talked about it. I thought it was fantastic. I have been in love with Noah Wyle since ER premiered. And so I thought it was a surprise and a nice touch. I know it's HBO, but it feels like network. It feels like it's ER. So I feel like, network's got one in there, but not really. I don't know why I think that way. I'm holding on to John Carter. That's why. That's the real thing. When I saw Noah Wyle last week at the Creatives, I almost fainted. And then this week, I just couldn't stop looking at him. I don't know. There's something. It's John Carter. It's the whole story. I think I spent so much time. I watched every episode of ER. I never let go. So I think it's that I spend so much time with him, and now he's back. It's like back in your life, like an ex. It's like crazy. I just think it's great. Anyway, I thought Severance was gonna win. I really did. I kind of thought Penguin was gonna take it because at the Creatives, the Penguin did very well. But then when the supporting actors were selected for Severance, I thought maybe Severance would take it. But congratulations to that whole cast and crew of The Pit, of Adolescence, and the studio. There was some really... And then I thought Hacks might pull it out because they got Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress. You never know, It's an ebb and flow, people. It really is. Look at the Bear. The Bear swept like 2 years ago, last year, whatever. Only murders. Like, you just get shut out all of a sudden. It's, ebb and flow. And you got to hold on to that gold while you have it, I got to say. The set, again, I will say that was production design by Brian Stonestreet. I loved it. It was just this retro throwback with integrated screens, and they redid the sets of the Golden Girls, which I loved, Gilmore Girls, and Law and Order. That was the other one. Oh, and Survivor. So yeah, fun. That was just fun, and the whole like giving money to the Boys and Girls Club. Once they put the counter on behind the people and the people didn't know that it was going down, and then the crowd started to like boo a little or like get nervous, it was a very weird energy in the room. At least I felt that, like, oh, you want this person to hurry up and get off stage, and this is their moment. So I don't quite agree with what they did. They announced it to us earlier. And it was kind of like, oh, but we knew that they would always get some money out of it. So then you kind of feel good about it. But I don't think anyone really was prepared for the feeling that it had in the room, seeing money deducted while someone's trying to, it's a shining moment in their career, and you want them to get out of there. So it's weird. I don't know if that was successful or not. But you try different things every year. I think a couple years ago when they had Anthony Anderson. His mom, he was hosting, and then his mom yelled at people to get off the stage. She yelled at Jennifer Coolidge, and I remember talking about this then, that I thought it was just wrong. So I don't know. Got to keep those speeches under, but still, it's an exciting moment of your life. Got to take advantage of it. So yeah. But I thought it was a great show. It's a great celebration of television. I really like the opening bit about television history and things that will come up in television and foreseeing the future and all of that. I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, I had a great time. I wish everybody could come along with me. But yeah, check out the photos. Okay, what Wannop is watching? I'm off. I got a lot of time on my hands. I've been watching a lot of TV. I'm just going to give you a couple. Task. Task is fantastic. It makes me go into my Philly accent a little bit when I talk about it, but because they are nailing the accents, and it's really good. It's the same people as Mayor of Easttown and the writers and all, and I just think it's like I'm holding my breath the whole time I'm watching it, because I just know it's not going to turn out well. It's just not going to be great. So and Mark Ruffalo is great, and I don't even like him, and I think he's pretty good in it. And there's a lot of like unknowns or people that aren't like huge in it, which I think is really making me believe the story, and it's good. Production designer Keith Cunningham and set decorator Edward McLaughlin. They both did Mayor of Easttown, so you can see that hopefully, I didn't really check it out, but I'm assuming they brought a lot of people back from Mayor of Easttown for that project, so kudos to them. And that is on HBO Max. The sets are nailing it with like the vernacular of like Delco, Delaware County. Eagles blanket. They got, they have this main house, and it hasn't been updated since the 60s, which I think is pretty accurate for a lot of people's houses, because Philadelphia had a really great example of urban sprawl in the 50s and 60s. And so, like, my grandparents, they were the first people who owned their house in the suburbs, which was kind of a new word at the time. And yeah, it reminds me of their house a little bit. So I'm loving it. And I'm in fear of what's going to happen to these characters. So it's a weird dichotomy going on. I finished up the second season of Wednesday on Netflix. Fantastic design. I did a whole little video of it, of some of the design elements, if you want to check that out. Production designer Mark Scruton. And then there are 8 decorators listed on IMDb. So great job to all of you. I don't want to say one and it really was someone else. There's no way there can be like, it's really like 6. I don't know how there can be 6 decorators. I mean, I know that there can be, but I don't want to leave anybody out, and I don't want to give credit to anybody who didn't get it. So congrats to the team. I just love all the design of the season. So imaginative, so well done. Tim Burton and all of that, and the costumes, and fantastic. Only Murders in the Building. I mean, it's season 5. It's still fresh. It's still really good. Like, I could watch it forever. I could watch Steve Martin forever. So I guess I'm just one of those fans. And I think the sets, even though it's the building, they go in different apartments. They, I don't know. They do. They have a lot of new sets. So you got to give that to them. I ran into Patrick Howell, the production designer. It was great to see him last week at the Creatives. They did not win, but the studio won. But kudos to that team again. And Amanda Knox, that's on Hulu. That's in Italian, so you gotta pay. I'm paying attention to that. I gotta. It's one episode at a time. So when you get these one episodes at a time, you kind of hold on. You're kind of like, well, what day does that come on? I thought it came on Tuesdays. I refreshed, and now it says I don't have a new episode. What's up with that? You gotta remember when things are on and what network and what platform they're on. I get very confused. I gotta be honest. Sometimes I write stuff down. I know that sounds old. I don't care. I can't keep track of what I'm watching and where I'm watching it. It takes me 20 minutes to find a friggin' thing to watch at night, to be honest. Sometimes it's annoying. I watched an old movie called Compulsion, 1959. Production designers Mark Lee Kirk and Lyle R. Wheeler. Set decorators Eli Blenchy and Walter Scott. This I thought was interesting. Two wealthy law school students go on trial for murder in the version of Leopold and Loeb case. I had no idea about the Leopold and Loeb case and had to look it up. Spectacular little movie here. Harry Dean Stanton's in it, very young. And Citizen Kane, what's his name? He's in it too. It's really fantastic. Wait, I had it up here. Where is it? There it is. Orson Welles. I forgot his name. Orson Welles is in it. Oh, Dean Stockwell. Not. It's Dean Stockwell, Orson Welles. I liked it. And it's like a courtroom. It's very 50s. It's very like of the day. So if you have any research needing done for late 50s, there you have it. But it's a good little movie, I gotta say. I never heard of it, and it keeps coming up, so I thought I would check it out. All right, let's check out this episode. How about that? You ready? Because I am. I'm talking with production designer Jean-François Campeau about his work on the Apple TV series Chief of War. Woof. You want to watch something and be educated? This is it. This series I had no idea about the history of Hawaiian people. I mean, I had an idea, but I didn't know. Now, this is in their native language, most of it, so you have to read. And you know what? In the beginning, I was like, oh man, this is a lot. But their language is kind of so beautiful that you're kind of into reading the subtitles and everything. It's a massive scale and deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture and history. Jean-François shares how his team built everything from scratch, basically. The huts that were lashed by hand, the canoes were carved like the ancients, cliffside temples were carved into the landscapes. So he walks us through collaborating with the cultural elders that they had as advisors, shooting in both Hawaii and New Zealand, and how the sets were actually blessed in traditional ceremonies. That's amazing. Letting your sets get blessed. I was like, wow, you had to be really proud. You'll hear it. You'll get it. Again, check out the YouTube channel and, come along with your picture pages and you can watch and look at all of the sets that we're talking about. The season conclusion is on this week. I've already seen it. It's really good. It really makes you want a season 2, I'd have to say. That last scene, just, I don't know. It's really good. Okay, so here you go. I know you can't wait to hear about this process, so I hope you enjoy.
Before Italy, actually, Belgium, but like Central Europe, East Europe is my first time. No, it's good. There's a really good level of skill, anyways, in Prague for all the set building stuff and molding, carvers, painters.
Yeah.
So I think they have a long tradition of art department making sets here.
I think it was Nosferatu. I was talking to that team, and they were in Prague, I believe. I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. I work
Yeah.
with Beata. He's my decorator. She was on
Oh,
Nosferatu.
oh,
Yeah.
she's so great. She's so sweet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
No,
fantastic.
she's excellent. Yeah.
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 How I'm just gonna dive in here, but how now that you're over in Europe, how did you get the dream job of working in Hawaii. I really think it's a dream job. I know it's hard to get things over there, but I still think it's
Yeah,
pretty great to work in Hawaii. I mean, the project is huge. I mean, it's a
yeah,
huge, huge project. Like, how did you start your approach on this besides like laying out on the beach reading a script?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I was approached by a producer I had done a movie with before, um, and I was kind of reluctant. Honestly, I just finished a project that had me traveling a lot, so I was like, "Oh, I'll lay down low for a few months, and stay home." Because that's the problem. I never work at home. So basically, when I'm home, at least I get good time with my daughter and all that. And then, so I didn't want to leave, but this was too tempting. I just had to do it. Uh, so the idea was, I thought we would shoot in Hawaii the whole thing, which was initially everyone's idea.
Mm,
But I mean, as you probably know, it just things migrated. I think it was we kind of, I say we, but it's kind of before I got on, underestimated how much building would be necessary, to sell the Hawaiian culture as civilization. And so, because technically building huge sets in natural environment in Hawaii is
yeah,
quite difficult.
yeah.
So yeah, that's when New Zealand came in, and then it started bouncing back and forth between Hawaii and New Zealand. I mean, that's not too bad either. So,
No, that's not too
but
bad either.
no, it was like super challenging, but super stimulating at the same time. It was a dream job. Scouting so many landscapes I had to
Um,
find, and then seeing how to integrate those sets. Yeah,
I mean, the landscape, I've been to a couple of the islands. It's just
yeah,
wonderful. I mean, it's
yeah,
it's picturesque, it's dreamy, um, I I do want to say in the beginning, I know that there is like just being careful with, the history that you're trying to represent and designing it like the authenticity of what was there and representing them and giving them the respect. So
yeah.
I'm sure your research was very in depth. And did you have uh people helping with that, like I'm sure they did
Yeah.
on production, but did you in design?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure you know the whole process. As usual, starts with research. What was particular in this case, as you say, it really implied the utmost respect, and also I mean, we weren't doing a documentary. The idea
Yeah,
was to, like, it's kind to glorify, not glorify, but put the Hawaiian culture up front for once.
yeah,
So, like we used to say, it's not being shot in Hawaii; it's about Hawaii and their history and the customs and the traditions and all that. So, of course, we had to take certain shortcuts just to about storytelling and keeping it interesting and all that. But yeah, there was a huge concern with authenticity. The research is a little bit different, the process, because we're like image grabbers. We build so much stuff and we would just plow through all of it, and that's kind of
yeah.
the beginning of a creative process, where you just flow through images and then your concept starts popping up. In this case, I mean, if you take out all the Europeans representations of Hawaiian culture, there's not much, and
Because
because
it's
it's an oral
oral.
culture.
Yeah, it's oral
Exactly.
history. Yeah,
So yeah, so that made it a much bigger challenge. But we had great
advice.
cultural counselors
Hmm.
from production. We could work really in close relationship with. The Bishop Museum, I mean, it sounds, yeah, no, it's also a tourist place, but it's a great institution. And
Mm,
Honolulu also helped us a lot. And Marquise, is like one of the historians there we could always go to for questions. Or so sometimes, like you're like, okay, if we want to twist reality a little bit, would this be like acceptable to
right.
represent it this way? Or it was a whole discussion.
Yeah.
But and in the end, I mean, we had Thomas Paha and a few elders from
Oh wow.
the Hawaiian community, and basically they signed up, But
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
The
yeah, that's the warrior feel. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you guys built everything, and
yeah,
in I know like we have modern day thing, you don't have to build with just the thatch and everything, but
yeah.
how was it inner like making it real and using the real materials versus like, oh, we could put some steel in here.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
The materials, it was like really the dry stacking of rocks, which Hawaiians mastered, is
Yeah.
very difficult and impossible actually to deal with in our, I mean, modern day, even
Yeah.
rules and all that. So this time it's almost like we had to build twice. So all the materials were quite original. They would have been exactly the same, like the wood post, the thatching
Yeah.
we ordered from all over the place. The stone, of course, was a lot of casting. We had like a whole casting factory that went on for weeks, I feel like saying months. So we would build the core of the ehau, the structure, and then recover it with our rocks. And the big huts, like the spectator hut, we would, of course, fasten it with whatever would sustain the woods, the winds, and
Mm.
all the necessary. We had the engineer on board with us most of the prep time anyway.
Yeah.
But then we went through the whole process of lashing. So every time you see like two posts stuck together, they were hand lashed by our lashing crew,
Wow.
and they had references about how this was done, and so it was a whole process. Like this hut in particular, I think it was called Gabriel. There was a very bad typhoon when we were in New Zealand. That's where we built that set,
Mm-hmm.
and it sustained winds of like I don't know. I think it was
Oh my
150
God.
kilometers. Yeah, it was a major event in Auckland. Wasn't that our office was flooded, our shops was flooded, but the set just stayed there, the touching on, nothing flew off. So 'cause that's one of
Okay.
the sets we kind of build ahead of time. Sometimes you never know schedule how it's going to turn,
Yeah.
and it kind of stayed there like a month before we shot,
Oh wow.
but it sustained yeah,
That's
really,
great
really
craftsmanship. Look at that. It,
polished
it
one.
endures.
Yeah, no,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
how much prep time did you have?
I mean, there was kind of a push, so I would say, and then I'd say an initial 4-5 months in
Okay, yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then I started jumping back and forth, so between Hawaii and New Zealand. And so New Zealand, we shot maybe I'd say 8 months globally, but
Yeah.
that includes, like shooting in Hawaii, mostly
Yeah.
location stuff. Yeah, yeah.
So did you prep Hawaii, shoot Hawaii, and then go to New Zealand? Or
Ye-
were you,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh,
exactly
wow.
what we did. I mean, it wasn't that planned. I mean, we also did reshoots
Mm.
a year and a half ago,
Oh,
and
wow.
then it was totally different because now we knew exactly what we could get or not get, because that's always the thing, New
Yeah.
Zealand, you discover these locations, you're hoping, oh, of course, it's big coastal. So we realized, like in New Zealand, you get great coastal locations to build massive sets because you have good building crews, and just the geography of New Zealand, the coastline is so long,
Mm.
that it's possible to get an area where it's kind of pristine, but you're not 4 hours from Auckland or a
Right.
hotel to put your crew of 300 or 600 or I don't know how many people.
Yeah.
Hawaii is difficult because Oahu, it's overloaded,
Yeah.
so it's
Packed.
very difficult to find like open landscapes, no wires, no nothing, and then still be close to a hub with where you have support and technical and business and all that. So yeah,
I mean, there must have been a great deal of scouting, like you're saying, for these wide open areas because I
yeah,
mean, you're in like a jungle too, in some of it. I
yeah,
mean, Hawaii is like, and I had a friend who worked on Lost in Hawaii, and I was like, oh
yeah,
my God, that must be great. And she was like, you got sand in your shoes every day, and we're constantly bringing greens in. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, we bring greens in all the time. I'm like, you're there. So I know how
yeah.
much work, I'm not saying this, but I know how much work it takes to even make it more lush and everything and bringing everything in to sell it. So I know it's a
Yeah.
hard gig in Hawaii.
No, but the example you're showing there, that's one that's pretty much beautiful as is, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's in I forget the name. I'm sorry. It's in Oahu. It's on the East Coast.
Mm,
So there's like, there's more traditional paths you can take, but this is a, yeah, perfect Hawaii
yeah. The overgrown.
landscape. It's beautiful. But yeah, scouting, with the scouting process was a whole thing. I mean, what happened is, when the decision was made to maybe explore New Zealand, we didn't scout there at all. So already had like a design team going in Hawaii. So they're like, okay, JF, you need to go to New Zealand and see what's there. So already just I had to prep a deck to kind of explain to them exactly what we're looking for based on what we had in Hawaii, just to connect all that together.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was incredible. In New Zealand, I think I had like 8 to 10 days to just prep stuff before everybody came.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
like, yeah, hours of days of helicopter riding around, just seeing as much stuff as possible in the less time. So it was great. I mean, honestly, yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's also seamless. Like if you said I shot this whole thing, on the islands, I would have believed you. Like I think it's seamless for New
Oh,
Zealand to
thank you.
Hawaii.
Yeah, that's great you say that, because
Yeah,
to me that was one of the concerns. There's compromises in there, obviously, but I'm really happy if that's how it
because
comes out.
if I know you said this shot is New Zealand, I would have never.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Huh?
yeah, that was
That's good.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I have some shots here of the canoes and the boats
yeah.
and the ships. And so that is such a huge undertaking in design and decorating and getting the right materials for these. Can you talk about all of like making these boats or converting these boats? Because I have this too, your concept
It,
drawing and then I believe like a catamaran. Is that a catamaran that you kind of
yeah, it's a Waha double hub. That's actually a very famous ship. The one on the right there you have,
mm,
yeah, that's a traditional Hawaii.
mm,
But what we basically build, uh, it was a mix. The two hero boats,
mm-hmm.
the one you see, Kayana, navigating with his family at the opening of the first episode.
Yeah.
So these double hull canoes, we call them four-man canoes. You have 4 men, 6 men, 8 men. I think based on, if you look at Herb Kane, the famous Hawaiian painter, they would have probably 14-man canoes, which would be
Oh
like,
my God.
we didn't even try to build those. It was like, I mean, if you have a little bit of budget,
Yeah.
but it's great you have this one. I don't know where you got it, but it's nice. It was a quick render of yeah. Anyway, so the two hero canoes we built from scratch, basically tree trunks, carved them
Oh, wow.
exactly like it would have been traditionally made. The only difference, our carvers were using like chainsaws, and which obviously they didn't have. But we also had like Archie, who was a consular. He actually sailed on the boat. That's I forget the name. I'm sorry. You see on the right side of
Yeah. The
your
real boat.
image there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
traditional Waha. They travel around the world. The Hawaiians, like just sailing with the moon and the stars. I mean,
Oh, wow.
so there's a whole
Beautiful.
sextant printed in the sides of the boat, and they oriented themselves. And so they have these days they have now a escort boat following them in case something bad happens. But they went actually around the world with that boat.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so we built two from scratch, hand woven sails, exactly like this one. All our sails were hand woven, but two boats we really built. They were blessed because every time we did keys with the tikis or the boats, we had blessings.
Oh, that's
There were
fantastic.
yeah, there was many ritual reunions, and I feel like saying prayers. They weren't really prayers, because it's Polynesian culture,
Yeah.
but
But I think
everything
you're
was
right with the blessing and like the goodwill and yeah.
exactly. It's like you give the object. It comes from the animist culture, so it's like God is everything, is everywhere, and the manas in all objects. So you just but and also just have the relationship with the Maori people and the Hawaiian people. That was a whole process also, because it's like, I include myself, I'm not Hawaiian, but us coming to to New Zealand, to the Maori, to Aotearoa, to say, okay, let's tell the story together. So it was a whole relationship that had
Yeah.
to be built, way beyond like business or art department, or it just became a whole cultural experience,
Yeah.
of mixing the two. I mean, they're both Polynesian, obviously, which was really relevant, but still mixing two worlds and
But how beautiful
cultures.
to be also to be a part of it and to see how this culture is and to learn. I mean, that's one of
Yeah,
my favorite parts of decorating is the research and getting
no,
into the details of these people and how they lived and everything. It's just fascinating. It's a
for
fascinating.
sure. I was really touched. Honestly, a lot of these ceremonies were really moving. You realize then how it sounds esoteric what I'm going to say, but how relevant the beliefs
Oh,
and the culture is today, what people are craving today
yeah.
and the problems we're facing and all that. It's like totally relevant. So it was nice to, and we had like, of course, the communities are based on the elders. So we had like very impressive
Mm.
elders from both communities coming to talk and chant. And it was, yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's
an
great.
experience. Yeah.
It's great as I'm saying, like people who work in this industry to feel like I'm I'm doing well. They're blessing that, like I'm doing well representing them. Like you don't want to be, piss people off. You don't want to be
No.
disrespectful or in any way. And so it's always like, oh, I'm glad people are happy with this and this is representing them correctly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
to me, it was a great honor, honestly, for like a white francophone guy to
Yeah.
be
It's
to be at the helm of
yeah.
designing this show, who's like putting Hawaiian culture up front. It's like
Yeah.
I was like respect. I was like, oh, thank you,
Yeah.
and I think it was more about putting all our skills, all of us collectively, the whole crew, in creating historical shows that we've done before. It's
Yeah.
all about putting your skills to service of telling the story in a most beautiful way and traditional way. So we pushed as much as possible, and
What was
yeah,
the
man, yeah.
fabric used for the sails? Is that like a
It's like straw, basically. It's like the same as thatch, but it's like so it's weaved.
oh wow. No, I
Yeah.
see all the seams. I did a
And then exactly, and then you patch, you seam all
oh
the
wow.
pieces together. Yeah.
And you had there was a couple decorators listed. You had different decorators, oops, for
Yeah. We have
Hawaii and
Chris
New Zealand.
Carlson who did Hawaii, and then Dan Burke. Because honestly, that situation got a little bit funny. Because when I got on, we thought it was in Hawaii. So yes, Chris
Yeah,
did the part in Hawaii, which was mostly exteriors, but then they also worked in collaboration. And I had Dan Burt in New Zealand. So Dan came to Hawaii to meet up with Chris, and they figure out stuff together.
great.
And then we ended up working with Dan and his crew in Auckland.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I would assume I mean to me, there's so many projects now I talk with, or I've even had like two decorators on the project because it's just it's become so huge. I mean, these projects for
yeah,
television are not TV, they're films. You're basically
yeah,
doing a 1 hour film. You did 8 hour film. So it's like,
yeah, yeah.
or nine. You did 9 episodes, 9 hour film. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. And I love that we get to do it, but yeah, it's a
No,
lot.
it is
It's a lot.
crazy. Yeah, and it's true because you end up in those block shooting situations,
Yeah.
where they want you to build stuff that's so big anyway. You can't you have to treat it as a feature. You can't say, oh,
Yeah.
we'll leave it there. We'll come back
No.
in 2 months. It's a new kind of, but it's exciting. Yeah,
Now
that's the Nutka deck on the back lot. Yeah.
this oh yeah, I have the
See this,
this.
it looks okay, but yeah.
This. So was this existing? Did you build? Did you
Yeah, yeah,
make it your
yeah.
own?
No, no, no. We build that. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
This ship
We build
is
more on the outside, on the other side.
mm,
Uh, that was actually a compromise. I was hoping
yeah.
to at least, ideally, I think the most spectacular sets are always when you build big, but in context, at least some context.
Yeah.
So I know I saw a place in Vancouver. I think they did Peter Pan there or something. where they built a ship. You could build a deck like this, but close to a water, really
Right.
close to the water. So at least one angle, you get water, you get blue sky, which would have been ideal, which wasn't possible in our situation. So, but I think VFX really pulled it off.
Yeah.
But this was
Yeah.
like totally done, as you see now, in the backlot. The other container wall you see behind there in that
Oh yeah.
picture,
Back here.
that's actually around the tank we also used to do Zamboanga
Oh,
port.
I saw.
And when Kayan and his family are rowing back to Hawaii at night, in the middle of the ocean, we also shot that
I
that
saw a
tank.
picture of the tank and I thought, well, there's not much design in the tank, but so I didn't ask you, I didn't include it, but
Yeah,
it is a huge deal. I understand that too. I mean,
yeah.
look
Because
at all those
when they
containers
gave
back
us
there.
as an option, but I wanted to buid that set, the Zamboanga fort, on location, and then
Mm,
it got too complicated by
yeah.
the water. So we're like, okay, let's do it in the backlot. And what the tank gave us is we built scaffold in. You can empty it, of course, easily. So we built scaffold and our ducks on the scaffold, and then you fill it back again. And then so we had interaction
Right.
between land and boat and water, which kind of helps make it believable. So, but it's a great facility. This one is a Cumio studio. So you have exterior tank and you have an interior tank, and you can transfer the
Right.
water from one to the other because it's warm. So you want to keep it warm, and it's huge quantity of water. And no, it's a great rig. They have
Oh yeah.
one of the best tanks I've used. Yeah, it's
My
great.
one of my last shows we did a cruise ship and we built the deck outside and
Oh yeah,
and one of the sides had the green screen on it and then the
yeah,
other the other didn't. So I'm very
that's
aware
good.
I'm
Yeah,
very well, I'm very aware of now this is aged and this is like worn. We were like it was supposed to be sparkling. So the
yeah,
elements of a set outside in heat and rain and everything is you never know what you're going to get, like the moisture with the wood planks and everything and the dressing being dewy. Like I don't
yeah,
it's a lot to consider when you're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I know
yeah,
it's frustrating, at least it was for us. So I know it's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. And the set you did, were you against water on one
No,
side
we
or
were in
no?
the middle of Santa Clarita, like the desert.
Oh yeah,
It's like it was like parking lot and they
oh yeah.
built the deck of the ship in the parking lot. It was
Oh
so
yeah, so
hot.
you were at least if we just need sky, you can shoot
Yeah,
one angle, and then the other angle you go for the water, and
yeah,
yeah, that's a
yeah,
good idea.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was good. It
yeah,
worked. It was beautiful, but it was so hot. It was
yeah, yeah,
unbelievable. The inside, the hull and everything of the ship, these are sets,
yeah.
or was that on the location?
No, no, exactly on stage.
These
Yeah,
are
yeah,
on
yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Well,
So you see the
this
one
one
on
is.
the top left, that
Yeah,
was a smaller piece of the set we did for the reshoot, and the one on the bottom right, that's actually on the deck.
that's the deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
lot.
we built the whole lower deck on stage. We actually refurbished it twice because there's also another ship in Spilled Brains, which I can
Hmm.
talk about because that's
Hmm.
coming out right now, I think, episode 5, which is a different merchant ship, So we kind of course, tried to refurbish stuff because it got, a lot.
Yeah.
And
We
yeah,
can talk,
we
well,
also,
we
yeah,
can talk about till 8. We can't talk about 9 because
oh,
9's
good, good.
being released
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year. Yeah. It is,
yeah,
I mean, the amount of ships that you have, I mean, with the canoes also. I mean, do you
yeah.
know how many total you had to do? We
In
know it's a
total,
lot.
I mean,
It's a
the
lot.
big set, this set, we had one deck that we morphed into another one.
So that's,
Lower decks, we had two sets. Wakas, the Wahas, we had maybe, I don't know, 25
wow.
maybe.
Wow.
It was a mix, we built two like super genuine, like I said, from scratch to complete.
These, yeah.
And then this was for Kai Kili's boat. We ended up using some Maori boat, traditional boats. We had to change the shape, the patina, it was a lot of work.
Mm,
And some of them, honestly, are fiberglass that we had to paint over just to make mix and match. Yeah, we
yeah.
added outriggers and Yeah, no, it was a huge,
And
huge
safety.
water unit.
I mean, and it's like safety and actors on there, like it's a lot with those canoes.
Yeah,
It's a
but
lot.
we had Brian Kilowana. I don't know if you know him. He's like he's a waterman. He lives in Hawaii. He's like super experienced with this. He's actually close to Jason. Uh, I think
Oh,
he used to be close to his father's family, so you know they're all kind of in the same community. So Brian was there with us, and that made it really really easy. You know, he's such a all the underwater shots, all the shooting on
mhm.
the water, sailing the ship. That was all dealt with by Brian. So that was a great help.
Oh,
He made it happen.
they're
Yeah.
really they're really great. And then
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the
oh yeah.
tank I was talking about.
Oh,
So
so oh, I see.
you're so he's in a pool right now. He's
Oh.
seeing those decks, those ducks coming in the water are actually supported by scaffold that we flooded, basically.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, just
That,
to give the last approach, you know. So
yeah. Oh no,
yeah.
that's great. And so then this is CGI in the back, or this is
No, the
exterior.
whole big wall
This
is
is we.
built.
Oh, this is all
Uh,
built.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Wow.
only CGI is the building behind the wall. So the
This guy.
tower and the biggest building there.
That
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Yeah.
We modeled the whole thing, you know, as if you could
Wow.
see it from a bird's eye view, but physically the whole wall was built. Yeah,
That's
because
huge.
we had all those moving bodies, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
action, and so you could keep it real. Yeah.
I do I will be honest, when I started watching, I was like, "Oh God, subtitles. Shit." And
Mm,
but then I was like into it because I think that their language is really beautiful and really interesting, like when you
yeah.
start listening to it. So then I was into it. And then there are some English speaking parts. So then I was like, "Oh, okay, a little break here, a little break here." But it's
Exactly. Yeah.
it's also so interesting to hear them talking in their native tongue and seeing the story from their point of view. It's really I really enjoyed the series, I gotta be honest. And then I was like,
Oh,
oh,
thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I
yeah,
think that was really important. It was a bit of a battle. I think, like,
I'm sure it was.
especially like American audience is less used to subtitles. You know, like
Yeah,
Europeans, they're like, okay, people are kind of because of course, their language is a bit more less mainstream. But I agree with you. It's so beautiful to hear the Hawaiian
yeah,
language.
yeah.
So difficult, but that was funny also when we started, you know, working,
Mhm.
just getting the names of all the characters right.
Yeah, I
I mean,
can't say
actually
any of
stuff.
these set names, by the way.
No,
But I'm gonna
exactly. You
try.
know, there's stuff. I realize now there's stuff I say so quickly, you know, like 3 A's in a row, I know how to say it, you know.
Ooh, that's
But if you're not
great.
used to it, it's difficult, you know, and the H you pronounce, you don't pronounce. Yeah, this one, yeah,
Well,
that's
I
my
think
picture actually.
I wanted to talk to your interaction with the DP and lighting and creating the
Yeah.
dramatic lighting. I know you had a lot of fire and torches and everything. Like how
Yeah.
was that interaction and discussion?
I mean, it was good. It's like the rest of the show. You know, we said we'll try to address it in a very naturalistic way. You know, as much as possible.
Mhm.
So, of course, all the exterior, a lot of natural light. Uh, I mean, it was honestly more a discussion about composition most of the times
I think
than
I heard.
lighting because it just came naturally. You know, like the picture you just showed of Jason in the light.
Yeah.
That's actually natural light.
Mm,
You know, so even when we built a backlot, it was outside. So we always, of course, they lit, but you know, we were always exposed. It became a little bit more important in the reshoot
mm,
because we did Zamboanga stuff. So like some of the images you showed after that is a mix of interior stage. That's actually on stage. So we
oh, Mom.
intercut between stage set, the slums where we kept it very claustrophobic and tight with the outside. And yeah, this one we had a discussion about light and yeah,
Yeah.
how it's shot.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah. No, Matt Chuang did a great job. Was who was the first episode the DP, and also he also did the reshoots. You know.
yeah, I thought that the lighting really, enhanced the sets and really was
Yeah.
beautiful. And with the dressing and showing these different textures and everything, especially in the slums. Um,
Yeah.
that was a huge dress, the slums. I mean,
Oh
just
yeah, it was
walking
crazy.
through
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. No, Dan and his team was did an incredible job. Just the quantity of textures in there, you know. So
Yeah.
the set wasn't that big. Yeah, we kind of it was the first time I did a set like this. Kind of, I mean, it was big one stage, but to create a maze of where you had no sense of geography, you know, which
Yeah.
is usually the opposite of what we do. But because so we did like walkways and passages, and it was just to illustrate how much they were stacked, how much, you know, they didn't own their land anymore, because it's the whole counterpoint with Hawaii, and so it kind of played very well, you know, to be in
Yeah.
a stage situation for that set. Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
Dan Burt and his team did an incredible job in this set. This is Vice shop.
Her shop, her workspace was
Oh
awesome. Just awesome. I
yeah,
wish they kept more wides of it, to be honest. I wanted to see
I
what was
know
going
this.
on there.
Yeah, and to be honest, we had we this is the second version of our set.
Mm,
We did a previous version before where she because there was a little character act that we modified with her. You know, the first version she was a bit more prosperous in Zamboanga.
mm.
So the shop we had with her was more like it was gorgeous, you know.
Oh, and then they
But
took her down a notch.
yeah, no, exactly. Then we had to reorient the narrative, you know. So I understand it's not, you know, it's not about showing sets, it's about telling stories. So unfortunately, but
Yeah.
we still kind of preserve the same architectural elements, you know, like all the Polynesian, you know, the woodwork you see in the windows and all that. So the feel is the same. The fabric, like she's dying, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a great set.
Yeah.
Also, Dan,
And then
the set deck team was awesome in Hawaii. Dan Burt, I mean, yeah, he's really good.
it's an interesting character to decorate for, because you
Yeah,
don't want to give her too much background, because I think she's trying to hide it a little bit and be more modern, but you still want to
yeah,
ode to, and yeah, it's a great character.
no, exactly. And you go in her place, you know, you just witness Kayana going through all this chaos, and
Yeah.
then she spots him, you know, like a
Yeah.
Hawaiian. She's like, and then you get in her place, it's like
Yeah.
oof, it's like a breath of open space, you know,
Yeah.
in all the slums. That one we actually connected directly to the slums also. So I think that also helps, you know,
Yeah, the
all the
flow. Yeah.
yeah, I'm obsessed with like connecting stuff together, you know, or because when you read a script, sometimes if you just stick to what's written, you could go, okay, there's one room here, there's one room there, and there's down there. And
Yeah.
if you address these things individually, you know, it's you know what I'm saying is obvious, but it's nice to push that at I push it as much as I can, you know,
Yeah.
and it's good because in the end, when you start blocking scenes and
Yeah.
directors and DPs, they get ideas. They're like, oh, maybe I can travel here and go in there, and that's what I think makes it real and interesting, you know, visually at least.
Oh, definitely. And that connection of spaces that might not be on the page that you put together as a
Exactly.
designer and
Yeah.
everything, and make it all cohesive is, that's the design. That's
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you give them the
fantastic.
playground and yeah,
This I just wanted to show, just talking as we just talked about, the lighting and using candles, and it's a
yeah,
great set though. This cabin, this captain's cabin in the ship is
yeah,
is interesting also. Very dark, and because of lighting, but like really great textures and details in there.
yeah. No, no, that
Pieces of
was good. That
coral.
was also a set a set created for the reshoot. That one also.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um,
it was great.
this huge, massive
Yeah,
structure that you built is massive. I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to attempt to say it or what the set name is, but it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, and the interior and everything. How big was this big thatched?
I mean, this is the Kau stronghold. I mean, this we're saying now it's we had to shrink the depth, you know, and the real object is bigger than what we build on
Wow.
stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah, we had like what was that
Do I have?
15,000 square feet. It's like
No.
about 120 feet wide.
Wow.
So the idea is we're honestly this one is kind of born out of constraints a little bit because we wanted to establish like a geopolitical center of the story. You know, like you need to feel, because it's one thing to identify all the islands and the kingdoms and understand they're all fighting, but we're like, okay, if you feel this place is where the king lives, you know, like he's fragile, he's protected, but he's powerful, you know, who and he dies at as you've seen in the episode. But my initial concept was to VFX it on a cliff top in Hawaii, which we did,
Mm.
and then to build that ideally outside in New Zealand, which we couldn't do because we were in the winter there at that point. And then even outside became impossible because, I mean, they're all basically butt naked all
Yeah.
day long
Yeah.
for 10, 12
Those
hours. So
poor
it's like,
extras.
exactly, it's going to be like 8 degrees. So we're like, okay, now we have to build this on set, it's like on stage, I mean.
Yeah.
So the idea was to create an interior exterior space, you know, so that the interior is so vast, it's kind of a zone in between.
Yeah.
But
How
yeah, it
tall
was a
is
big
it?
challenge for VFX, and yeah.
How tall did you build up for this?
You see, like the platform, if I remember well, maybe platform's probably 8, 9 feet high,
Hmm.
10, but it's supposed to be higher. But you know, it's like
Yeah.
VFX segmented the bottom of it. The to the top of the hut is, I would say 20,
Wow.
maybe 24 feet. Yeah, it's
That's a
super high.
lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot of thatching. That's a
I
lot of
mean
stuff.
those. Just to imagine the wood poles you see are basically like telephone pole size. You know, the bigger piece of the structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like trees holding that thing up.
Oh man. What a
Yeah.
what a beautiful piece to get to
Yeah.
design and be a part of. It's just beautiful.
No, no, it was good. And that was also part of the reshoot. So
Damn.
yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
did a lot of reshoots.
No, it was a big reshoot. It was a
It
big
was
reshoot.
another film.
Additional shoot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say. It's not, it wasn't reshoot. It was more about
Add on.
adjusting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I'm really fond of. Yeah,
This
this I had to fight. Yeah.
so like quintessential Hawaii that you're thinking of sort of thing is so great with the
Yeah.
statues and off of a
Yeah.
cliff and a beautiful view and of the sea and what
Yeah.
a
This is
location.
it built in Fitu, you know, which is on the coast of New Zealand,
Mm.
right on the edge of a cliff.
Oh,
You see where that stone wall ends behind the keys. The
yeah.
keys are the tikis, you know, basically that's what they call them in Hawaiian, traditional Hawaiian, is maybe 22 feet from
Mm.
the cliff, which is hundreds of feet high. So the space was great. I was like, we need to always feel the ocean as much as possible,
Yeah.
which I really had to fight for. And but we were very worried about the ground, of course, because it looks so dangerous. But then we had the geological engineer inspect it and everything, and so finally we got vetted to build there. You know, just putting so many stakes in the ground, and but the keys you see there, you see in the center one is Ku, is the god of war.
Mm.
So, for example, this is very significant for Hawaiian culture because
Yeah.
what we did is this one especially was carved in a tree trunk that was sent from Hawaii
Oh, wow.
to New Zealand,
That's
and
big.
our Lionel Grant, who was our it was the sculptor in charge of all the keys for the series. He's actually a Maori, but he teaches traditional sculpture in Hawaii to Hawaiians, you know, to young Hawaiians. So he had a few of these guys come to New Zealand to carve this kuhu, uh, the kau, I mean, the god of war, and it was placed there. But that's the best example. You know, you just don't put keys like this. They represent
Oh,
divinities,
yeah.
and we had to cover them, and and then we had to bless them. We had a whole ceremony with elders coming from Hawaii on that morning. We have to do it at sunrise, and then you uncover the keys, and then they start existing. You know, because they
Yeah, you don't want
a
to.
lot of energy flows through them.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just like set dressing, you know, you have to be very so
So
yeah.
these were made out of wood. You said these are
Yeah,
carved out of wood?
all
Oh,
of wood, yes, of
wow.
course.
I thought maybe
All
it
of
was like
them.
fiberglass or foam or like,
No, 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 no.
wow. Wow.
All the keys you see in the series, like also where there's the bone tower, there's a row
Yeah.
of five or six, also all carved from wood. Yeah, yeah, of
Wow.
course. Yeah,
I
in the most traditional way,
yeah.
because the thing is, there's so many representation of the same God. It's not like of course, it's not monotheist, but even each God could have like 500 different representations.
Right.
So, but they were all carved. They all have typical features, and Lionel was all over that.
Oh man, I hope
Like,
I hope they're with the set pieces and they didn't like do these because they're blessed and everything, were they taken like I've worked with Native American cultures and after a show went down, we then separated pieces that they wanted to go back to a museum or to people or things like that because
yeah.
of the significance of them. Like things like this, are they in storage or are they being held somewhere special because they've been blessed? Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, you have to be careful sometimes.
No, no, totally. I mean, they're stored safely, and I guess we'll see. If,
Yeah,
if we if we end up doing more of this series, then they'll probably be reused again.
yeah,
But that's a
oh,
good question. What's going to happen if
yeah.
we're not going back? It's
You don't want to piss off those gods.
no, no, exactly, no.
I hope they're being
They're interesting
secured.
though, huh? The
Oh
character,
my gosh, the
the
one with the
the
face.
expressionism is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're great. So did someone design these or were these images, you found these images or in research and duplicated them or are they generated like some like
We But honestly, at the beginning, we thought we would kind of do it like we usually do it. So we gathered all kinds of images. Because let's say, for example, Ku in the center, which is the god of war, there's multiple representations of it, but
right.
it's they're always kind of similar, like the basic features. So we're like, oh, we'll design this in 3D and then we'll get it. But in the end, I mean, Lionel and his team, he basically drew it from like traditional drawings or pictures we have of representations, and then honestly I kind of I let it to him.
Yeah.
It's not like I was, yeah. I
Yeah, you gotta experts to be experts and you gotta, yeah.
Exactly. What
Yeah.
I knew the placement, the way to stage them in a heiau. That was very important for me because we were basing this on Kauai High. That's still is still a temple that's on Big Island. So we have historical paintings like from Herb Cain, for example, where you see how they were placed. So
Mhm.
and the offering tower that's behind. So that I knew, but then how to represent each specific god, I just that's not like I would
Yeah.
say,
I
please,
yeah.
thank you, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to
we'll
mess
just
around.
put it in there.
I wouldn't want to mess around with that. I don't.
No, no,
I
exactly. Yeah,
don't. Um, again, just the sets that you built gave such great options too for a lot of great shots, whether you're
yeah,
looking
yeah,
through things or your foreground pieces and this there's a picture of like from inside the structure looking out towards the beach and everything, and you can see such detail of the
yeah.
craftsmanship of these sets, which I thought was fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, to know that
It
you
was a
guys built
challenge.
this.
Like this was it's typically a canoe hut. They would have those massive huts to put the canoes in. Uh, this one, if I'm not mistaken, was in New Zealand, and these big pieces of hut had to be like dropped in by helicopter.
Wow. Wow.
It's a lot of trouble when you want to, like build big stuff, but in a really pristine coastal environment. It's most of the time we didn't have to do that, but that's one case where we had to because the road access was crazy. It would
Wow.
have taken for so many days just to bring the stuff down. So at some point you're like, okay, if we hire this helicopter for like eight hours, you drop I don't know how many of these down, and then it ends up being cheaper
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah.
So we had to be very careful, and I had Phil Chitty's a construction coordinator in New Zealand. He's like the best. He's honestly one of the best I worked with
Mm.
in Europe, the States, or Canada, or anywhere. So he was really, really good ally. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes people, when they see a challenge, they kind of go like, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
but he's more like, okay, challenge, no
There
problem.
you go.
Solution, we'll find it. Yeah,
No, that's great. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, because they're huge builds. And like you said, if they don't have road access to bring all the set pieces in to then assemble there, you're
yeah.
kind of
It's
stuck. You're kind
yeah,
of limited.
yeah. It's
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
great.
it's the special one. Most of the places we could access easily. I mean, even like the main village in Koala you showed earlier,
Oh, yeah, with
that
all the
was
huts.
actually quite close to Auckland. It's not so bad. It's like basically farmland, maybe 45 minutes from the main city.
Mhm.
So at some point, I had to you had to push back a little bit because of course there's a big cast and it's
Yeah.
every day, and so we can't always be every day on a cliff
No.
uh, 2 hours from the main city, as you
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Well, limitations. I was lucky enough. I mean, have some in here of just some behind the scenes shots of like this
Yeah.
village with the tikis and in showing how you built it with this huge grid over top. And that so this is on the stage, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the. I don't think that scene made the cut in the end. I'm not
No.
sure. I think that was I don't remember, but yeah, that was on stage in New Zealand. You don't feel it right now, but there's a huge panoramic backdrop that we designed with Dean Sheriff, concept artist. Uh, yeah, that was on stage. Uh,
I mean,
One of
again,
the first ones we shot.
these tikis are enormous. I mean, they
Yeah,
have to be like 16 feet high, I want to say.
these guys are not wood. I must admit, they're the only two we didn't
You
make
didn't
out
do.
of wood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they're like
they're really
yeah,
big.
they're like 10,
10,
12 feet
12.
high.
They're really
Yeah,
big. Yeah.
yeah. I think this. Yeah, this. Oh wait.
This this is
Yeah,
to show how great construction can be, and I
yeah,
mean, just I'm showing how you've made a almost the rock wall that he's climbing up and showing the
yeah.
inside structure of it, which I just thought was such a
Yeah, and
great
that's
touch.
crazy because now with 3D it's great because you can really previs so much stuff.
Yeah.
We used to draft and then maybe build a model. Now we're actually drafting in 3D all the time. So this particular shot is crazy because that's in New Zealand on the backlot, and it's a sequence that's tying in with one we shot on location in Hawaii. When they're
Mm,
running after
right.
Kayana and he falls and there's a red cliff and all that. So yeah, that's one particular
Yeah.
trick shot we had to do for that.
And then can I ask
Wow, yeah,
what is this material that their capes and their hats, is it
yeah,
feathers? Is that what is it?
yeah. Feathers,
It's
it's crazy.
feathers. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I think I don't remember, but at Bishop Museum there's one. They would say for one cape, I think it was like 100,000 feathers or more. It's crazy. It was beautiful. That's
They're
Caroline
s-
Eslin's.
they're so
They
beautiful.
did a beautiful job. It's crazy. Yeah,
What too,
these
like
are.
they have
Yeah,
these helmets on and the silhouettes and
yeah.
the darkness and everything, and then some of them you can see through. They have like holes and everything. They give
Oh yeah.
such great silhouettes in the show. I just was in love with that. I was like, wow, look at
Oh
that.
yeah. It's incredible. And
Yeah.
the capes are.
Yeah, the
They're
capes.
like precious objects. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah,
What was your big oh there, I have one of the silhouette right there. Um,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
what was the biggest challenge of this? I mean, it seems all very challenging, but you seem to have had a great time with it. What was the biggest challenge for this series?
I think combining the two, New Zealand and Hawaii,
Mm.
that was one of the big ones, I'm happy you say you kind of felt it seamless
Oh,
because
I
that was one of my
yeah.
my biggest fears, honestly, because we it was kind of we were kind of scared, we started scouting and but then I realized it's like when you're doing this, you're so deep in the process,
Yeah.
you always feel like you're compromising,
Yeah.
but then people get it and they're like, oh, this is great, this is magical. So
I mean, when
Yeah,
you're
and the
watching
big
it, I don't, you, also as a viewer and not just as someone who's like, looking at the sets.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a viewer watching it and believing what you're telling, believing the story, and I'm enthralled in the story, and the greenery is so great. Like it doesn't,
yeah,
I would have never, unless you told me or I read it and I was like, oh, that's crazy. They shot it there too.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's good. That's very good news. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, I mean, I could see challenging wise too for you in having to set up two different art departments and
No, exactly. Yeah,
being seamless in that effect and so glad to hear that your decorators got together and you know,
yeah,
working that out and keeping the same streamline through everything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm sure
There
that
was a little bit of not over designing, but the thing is, the problem was I was in Hawaii, like overseeing the location shoot, but we also had to build a little bit of stuff designing for New Zealand. So
right.
that was also a big challenge because the time zones are different. They're like the next day, 8 hours earlier or 5 hours. So it was intense. I felt like I had two big hubs happening at
Mhm.
the same time, and but it was really nice. We had Helen and Alistair both supervising in both countries, and they really
Oh,
connected well,
right.
and it was good. And the set designers, so it was, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, because sometimes you shoot the projects I did before. I had like a big base in Vancouver, another one in Canary Islands, and it kind of mixed, but not that much. But this time we had to, because so
Well, yeah.
it was great. Yeah.
Well, bravo. I love the series. That I've seen the finale. Finale comes on this week. It's spectacular and definitely leaves you wanting more. So I hope.
Okay, that's good to know.
I think so. I mean that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean the ending scene's pretty leaves you wondering what the hell's going to go on. So I think
yeah,
it's a great ending to this really masterful piece of work here. Just bravo, really great job. I really loved watching it. So yeah, it was
thank you,
great.
Kim. So that's a good news. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope people
yeah.
enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Um, I am so thankful that you were able to talk about this and explain some of this and go into depth about these great details. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Just find it fascinating when people go all over the world to do our jobs, and Hawaii just seems like a dream job, doesn't it? I mean, I know, as I think I kept it in there. I went to visit my friend who was decorating Lost. I forget what season it was, but it was Carol Kelly, who was a fantastic decorator that I learned a lot from. And she was on Lost, and it was like, oh my God, this must be awesome. And she's like, oh, well, there's sand every day, and there's a lot of trees, and I can't get anything. I mean, this was years ago, but it does seem pretty awesome to work in Hawaii. I don't know. But I know it's hard. Everything's hard. But I hope you enjoyed this conversation about Chief of War. Again, you can watch the finale this week, and now that it's out, you can binge the whole season on Apple Plus. Now, don't forget to subscribe so you can never miss an episode of this podcast, because I have so many films lined up for this fall and Oscar season. I don't even know if I can take a job right now. I have so many things to watch and do podcasts on. It's pretty awesome, I gotta say. I'm very flattered. So you can also watch the full interview of this and many other episodes on the YouTube channel, the Decorating Pages YouTube channel. Please subscribe, subscribe, and just a great way to see the sets that we talk about on every episode. If you're interested in learning more about set decorating, check out the set decorating masterclass that I have made on the Decorating Pages podcast website. You can sign up there for a 15-class audio. My dog is snoring. Oh my gosh. All right, it's time to go to bed. All right, everyone, I hope you got an earful. I'm Kim Wannop for Decorating Pages.